Um, um,
Yeah, Joe, you'll have to scooch in just a little bit.
Is that version?
There you go. That's good. That's good.
Or I was going to, you mean, so that was bigger than.
All right, it is 6 p.m. January the 21st, 2026. This time I want to call the Water Conservancy meeting in order, the annual meeting. Has everybody had a chance to vote? If I could get to them, we'll have the votes.
For the record, our election committee is Tom Cooper, Ed Merzian, and Bill Jones.
First step is annual. Employee for Georgia.
Everyone got the handout that wants to follow along? No. The front side with the color charts is the revenue. Review of revenue shows 2023, 24, 25, and our estimate for 26. We've tried to keep the amount collected in property tax equal to the amount to cover the tower loan. Keeps anything collected in property tax goes to infrastructure. And you see the breakout of water fees. There's some private hydrants, sales tax, and the other has had a lot of variation in it, partly because we're getting reimbursements for some things that have happened in the system that were caused by others in 2025 particularly. And also we are investing in Trust Indiana, which creates a nice interest revenue for us that we hadn't had prior to 25. We didn't have all of our operating in there. It was the reserve account, but not the operating, and we put more in there from the operating account. So consequently, we're making more money in interest. You can see the income charts are fairly stable, goes up and down a couple percent, but pretty much everything is financed by water fees, and that property tax hovers around 21%, 22%. The back of the paper has the actual expenses and the budgets for the last couple years. The budgets have been higher than in the past because we are experiencing some major projects that the superintendent will talk about. We thought we would be using out of our reserve to fund the budget, but I don't think we had to. I think that we covered that. Our revenues covered what we had to budget and then absolutely covered what we had to expend. So we're in good shape, not dipping into the reserves as we thought we might have to. We have a lot in capital expense and water and tower maintenance. And again, this will go into the report for the superintendent, but it's all necessary for covering the electronics, the equipment, the security of the system, which is what you want to keep your system viable into. Are there any questions about what you see in the document?
Sorry. You said that the property taxes, or you direct two questions.
No questions.
You said that the property taxes were going to cover the tower lease.
And other infrastructure,
and
right?
other-
Yeah.
So it just. So then there's like $100,000 difference if you want to add and what was paid for tower lease.
Okay, you have two lines. Was I still in two lines or did I put them together? Now you've got that, and then there's a line above well and tower maintenance.
Then we said that the.
So now the 133,818 is the two loans that we have out standing for the tower lease. And then any remainder is other parts of the infrastructure. And I'll have to direct that for the superintendent because all I have is the line items, the well and tower maintenance.
I don't remember quite, but what did you say that property taxes covered the tower lease? There's something else, right? You try to make sure those cover.
We intend for the property taxes collected to cover infrastructure.
Yep.
Dan, correct me on this, but and also an answer to your question. Usually on infrastructure, it's like major projects on the infrastructure. And like our generator that we had, the backup generator for Well House 3, that money that paid for property tax levy, that went towards that generator. So if we have power outage, we still have one.
And it
So-
pays for the booster station.
So that generator.
Generator at the
So-
booster station.
The main primary is the water tower. But we have other infrastructure needs and when there's excess, it goes toward in generators, so we have to have them.
All
And that's all I have at this time.
right, Dan. 2025 year in review.
It's Carol. He always does that.
For those of us who don't know, would you guys like to introduce yourselves? I know a few of you, but
Okay.
I don't know all of you.
Dave Bisher, I'm on the south side of 600, cover that district. Tim Schuler, new to the board as of earlier last year. I'm in Shawnee.
Ron Holiday, I have a house on Main Street.
Carol Watson, I'm south of 600 in the commercial development of 43.
Rick Oliver, River Bluffs.
Joe Klein, the Historic District over on Main Street, a couple doors down from Rome.
Thank you. As far as 2025, I think the biggest thing is getting ready for the booster station or building total upgrade. We've been working on the 5-year plan. We did improvements to the well houses. A lot of lead and copper. Groundwork being laid to try to get some work done on that. And working on our staffing, trying to get a licensed superintendent. We had one hired and he retired on us. So we're working on that. And we also added a trainee who is learning. He's getting trained and going to classes and working. And when he finishes that, if he passes his test, we'll be licensed to getting all that process. So just a lot of maintaining. We changed out a lot of meters this year and improvements to the well houses as far as preventative maintenance and just working on the infrastructure in general. And we want to add anything to that?
The meters, though, I don't know that everybody understands that until I got on this board. I didn't understand it either, but we have to replace 10% of the meters
10%
every year. So that cost is, we have no control over that cost. I know we have to replace 10 of them, but whether they cost us a couple grand this year and 2,200 next year, that's hard for us to predict. Just to kind of give everybody an idea, of what we anticipate or how it has to work.
Residential meters will be about $34,000. And we replaced the meter at Woods Edge. And it was, I'm guessing 8,000, 9,000. We also replaced the meter at Park. That was the same price, $9,000 job, so.
The advantage of that, though, the newer meters have a better technology. And those larger ones don't have to be rebuilt. They will be good longer. Correct,
It'll
so
be longer and they get tested.
How much is each residential meter?
$340 for the meter. Just the meter. Mhm.
and then parts to install. And then we did recycle all the ones that we took out.
Does that cost, hi, Chattering, first time caller. Does that cost, is that supplied by the property owner or does that come from the town funds?
That's your property taxes pay for that and your water fees.
So
So
that's part of
the homeowner does not see that bill other than what they pay for in the system.
It's our responsibility.
Exactly.
And the other big thing I'd say is we got everything on radio read. Yep. So that's a lot. It's very time efficient for our superintendents because they read on the 15th and now they can just write. And instead of having to get out and go, some of those meters were behind houses and wherever. So to get all those upgraded into radio read was a big deal.
How much would it cost? Sorry, since I used to work at Legacy here. I don't know how that goes. How much would it cost to get, so that the meter readings would go into a central location? At one point, they were talking about, I haven't worked there for a long time, but instead of doing radio ones where they read while they drive by, They were. Set by-
It's still, that's still real.
It is,
Yeah, you just put up antennas to get the
majority.
Most places get the majority and they still have a few in the outlying areas that they still have to go out and get. The big thing is with the newer ones. I pick up old. From 600, I can probably knock out most of Hawks Nest, most of Shawnee. When you start going down the hill, I might miss some.
Mhm.
But I pick up a lot from
Just
just,
doing that.
yeah. Once, if I got a place to pull over and it's picking up, I wait until it's done
Okay.
before I move on.
That's what I was wondering, if you had to drive past to other residents.
The older meters, they don't have, the new meters, every fifth output pushes a little more watt. So it gets more rain. But that's only on the new ones. The new ones also give the ability, so if you think you got a high meter read,
Mhm.
I can do a data log on it, where the older ones don't. I can't do it.
Which means you might have a leak if you get a higher rate, so the sooner we can help you with that.
Okay. Perfect.
I guess the other thing that we did too is we did install some security cameras around the water pump and some of our other buildings. And we upgraded our SCADA communication.
That was the big thing, was upgrading SCADA at the same time. So after we got the other tower online, part of the tower jobs.
It's an ongoing thing to keep everything safe through our technology.
Might share with everyone what SCADA is and what it does.
It looks at the system, I can set it up. Like right now. You guys haven't noticed it, but. You probably lost, maybe 2 pounds pressure, I lower the tower. Level, but in the summer, I run higher. So in the winter, I get more times that everything gets pumped, so to keep from freezing inside and doing damage. Keeps the water, let's say warm, it's still cold, but it's not gonna freeze as quick. And this keeps everything from having problems later, but it maintains the level. It calls me if there's a problem. And if I can lose power outage up on top of the hill before I got the generator, it let me know and would spike from everything from down below. And vice versa, we can move water from the high side to the low side. I generally move water from the low side to the high side every day. There's customers that's on the line from the historical side. We got several houses, and then on the other side of the booster station, till you get up to Muncie, there's probably 5 houses, 6 houses along there that's on that line, so it keeps the water fresh going all the way up if we keep everything moving. It also gives us a little bit of ability to handle better on leaks and stuff.
And some of the other time, I guess, that Dan spent this year was trying to anticipate what the needs are gonna be of the development up on 43 and what we need to do to be prepared. Is that all was the line, so.
All right, moving on.
We need our election results.
Election results.
I have those. We had 19 ballots that were cast. We had 0 that were contested. So the results were Ron Holiday, 14. Adam Fridlin, 5.
You do your feeling.
Represent.
Sorry.
Represent for day and night.
Just for those here, there were two positions that were up for election. Mine and Ron's. Mine did not have anybody contesting me, so. That's why you only had one person or one spot on your ballot.
So we have the ballots, we have the report of the committee. And we have the results.
I need to be affirmed by acclamation.
Right. So what David was alluding to is that the board would move to accept his nomination by acclamation, as there was no,
Yes.
no contestant.
I
So
make
would
the
you like-
motion that we accept David Fisher as the director by acclamation?
Second.
Motion from Carol, second. Any questions? All in favor, signify with aye. Opposed?
And the ballot count verifies Ron Holiday to retain his seat as director for the historic area. I'll make a letterhead for you to sign later, but if you would want to stand and receive the oath, we can do that at this time.
Hey. This is the wrong one.
How did I give you these?
That's where it's corrected here.
Okay, we'll do that. This was just for the meeting. I do letterhead.
They had my name here, but.
Yeah, I do letterhead oath and we'll catch it at the
Okay.
next meeting. but
All right,
that's
just making sure we're all up and on the upboard.
Mike says nothing. Okay.
You change the name in one place, but not in others. Okay, when you stand up,
Yes, please.
we're doing it one at a time or?
You know, you can say it together. Just say I and state your name.
I, David Bishop, do solemnly swear to the best of my ability, strive and accomplish the purpose of which this district is established and properly to operate and maintain its works of improvement. My term of office will expire in January of 2030.
I, Ron Holiday, do solemnly swear that I shall do to the best of my ability try to accomplish the purpose for which the district is established and properly to operate and maintain its works of improvement. My term of office expires
January 2030.
January 20.
All right, we keeping these since we're gonna have an official one later.
Yes, yes. So there are 7 seats on the board. You have 6 installed for 2026 at this time. The 7th chair was vacated a couple weeks ago by Phil Bear, who is also in the historic and River Bluff area. So this will be something that the board will have to take up at their January meeting. Probably not appropriate to do it at the annual meeting, but because there's a vacancy, I'm expecting that they'll address that later tonight.
All right, any other questions? Yeah, at this time, I move to close the annual meeting.
I make a motion to close the annual meeting.
I'll second it.
Have a motion, a second, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, annual meeting is closed. Now, this time, when I call the order, we regular January directors meeting. For election of chair and co-chair. I'd like to nominate Earl Watson, chair.
I'll second.
Motion by me, second by Dave. All in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There you go, Gary.
Ron's got a scratchy throat. Well, as soon as I can not talk. He's gonna be ready for it. Okay, I need a nomination for vice chairman.
I would like to nominate Tim Schuler for as chairman.
Second.
We have a nomination by Rick Oliver and a second by Ron Holiday. For Tom Schuler to be the vice chairman. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations. Next thing is confirm staff positions. Superintendent would be Dan Gimmick, financial clerk Georgia Jones. And would Vicky be our villain?
Vicky Rogers.
Vicky Rogers. So do I have a nomination for those?
I nominate
individual?
Dan, the superintendent. We had to do one individually, or how we had to do that?
You know,
I nominate that slate be,
Oh, Dan Gimmick, superintendent.
Yep.
Licensed superintendent.
Yep.
Georgia Jones, financial clerk, and Vicky Rogers as billing clerk. And Ron seconds. So I have a nomination by David Fisher and a second by Ron Holiday. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. I assume you three will be willing to do it.
You don't have twins.
She's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's, don't say that.
All right, chairman's comments. I look forward to 2026, just some goals. I think that we can make good progress on our lead and copper obligations. That's being mandated to us, so we have to do it within a certain time frame, and it just has to be done, and it's a big project.
for those in the audience, that means Dan has to go out and visually inspect all the connections in the system to each individual house.
How was that done? How's that?
He goes, we got a bore, or not a boring, but
Back.
a back truck. They will have to actually go and back down, visually inspect that and document what type of connections are there. See if there's any lead or copper, and then if there is, then he'll abate that and take care of that at one time. Why everything's open.
So this isn't like checking for pressure, it's only for the materials and the line.
it's just the materials.
Okay.
Now, he has an idea.
If you know where do you live?
On Muncie, Muncie.
Muncie's out of it.
Yeah.
You're fine on that.
It's the older part of town. then?
Yeah. I guess I shouldn't say every, all the older, especially the older section of town.
There's certain timeline.
Yeah, because the stuff up on the hill where we live, that was all put in after that was mandated that we couldn't use it. So everything on top of the hill won't have to be inspected because
Oh,
it was, the lead and copper
okay.
connections were all phased out years before.
But what you're gonna see is, we're gonna have to shut down some streets and do some digging in the holes, boring down in those roads to access some of those lead business.
I see.
So it's a big thing, and
It's at the meter, right? That's because that's where the,
No.
or is it?
Where I'm gonna suck down is by the meter pits. If I can. That's the easiest. The easier section, I still have to do our side, but, if it comes in a house. And I can see it from inside the house. that qualifies. So the ones that sent replies back, which there was only 2. And I got a 3rd one to see.
All right, but it's at the meter that the Conservancy.
That's where I'm gonna do it because it's right there in the gravel or grass area. Just right there on the edge of the road.
We're gonna try to do it where it's the least disturbing, you know, most of the hours. So that's a big thing. Obviously. Staff. Try to get another superintendent on that is licensed or working towards that. So if you know anyone who wants to go into an exciting career, it really is. It is a good career. But as anyone knows right now, it's hard to find people who want to be on call all the time. And for example, the cold weather coming up, doesn't matter, you still have to be out there. So rain, shine, snow, whatever,
Is
yes.
that position gonna be like posted anywhere we can share?
It's on the
Share more.
Indeed. It goes on Indeed. We posted it. Back in November. And it went on Indeed. It also went on
Lions,
the Alliance.
which is a lot of state water.
The Indeed posting is paused right now because I was under the impression that the requirements was gonna change.
Yeah, they are.
And so it is inactive. It is not visible right now.
It'll be reposted.
I think you had a question in the back too, Carol.
Yes.
I was curious, is the superintendent retiring? Is that why regular salaries were stagnant, if not dropping a little, but then part-time's spiking up a little bit? That, does that explain why that's happening?
Dan would like to retire sometimes.
Yeah.
Retired at the end of the year. We thought he was gonna come, he retired from Purdue, Dan retired from Purdue, that's where it's been a source to get people. We thought maybe he would be here for like 5 years, but he had some other things to do and he decided he'd like to do them, and we were lucky for the 2.5 years that we had him. It takes a little bit of time to get someone up to speed with our system, so there's so much knowledge in Dan's head of where, well, this pipe was replaced, so we're trying to get that all documented, so the new person coming in. But yes, and we've also budgeted for this new person coming in. And for a trainee, so you're seeing some increases in there because we were trying to attract some licensed superintendents. We haven't had a lot of luck with that. Licensed operators. And so now we're gonna have to dial it back a little bit and say anyone who's physically can do the job and is willing to get the training.
I
And
guess
see what we can.
let's follow. Why did we budget for less than what we spent last year? Just by a smidge there on regular salaries. I guess, do we not expect that to go up a little bit every year?
You also, go ahead.
Well, part of it is because the budget was turned in before we had a resignation from the position.
And
So
he had
you're
over 30
looking at
years
a budget that was
experience.
established in July and things happen through the years. And so that's part of why that is.
And you had someone that had 30 years worth of water experience, so that salary would be higher than someone coming in with, say, 5 to 10 years. So. And we do our best in July, but things do change. So. And then the third thing, really I have to work on this year, is trying to go out and get additional funding grants. To help us with some of the infrastructure and with the lead and copper. And I know next month there's a meeting down with our state representative. And they are planning on going to try to meet some of these people and try to get, how do we qualify? Being a conservancy, we're not a town, so we don't qualify for some of that stuff. But they need us, so it'd be nice to have a little help. So we're gonna see what we can qualify.
Problem is, a lot of times the legislators on these grants fail to put conservancy districts in their eligible people to apply for them. So we have had a little bit of luck going through the town. The town will apply for it on our behalf, but it's just gonna hit and miss.
Yeah. The other thing is we tried for some of the other, like lower rate ones and stuff like that. And believe it or not, our income is too high and down there to qualify us. We're too wealthy of a community to qualify for some of that stuff. So it's,
Structure is in too good shape.
yeah, and we don't have any violations. They go to the people who have a lot of violations and then they qualify and they get to front line. So but those are the 3 areas I'd like to work on this year. The staffing and trying to get additional funding and trying to make a dent in this levy component. Okay. Customer service report, Joe.
All right. There were 12 customer service reports for the month of December 2025. There was 1 shut-off request in the historic district. There are 2 water quality reports, both from north of County Road 600 North. Excuse me. 2 usage, 1 in the historic district, 1 of the north of County Road 600 North district. A meter-related report from the historic district. Excuse me. 4 leak reports, all of them in the north of County Road 600 North. And 2 billing reports, both in the historic district. As of January 15th, 2026, all reports will be closed. I also have a summary of reports for 2025.
Okay.
I forgot to do last year, which I had that. Anyways, for the year of 2025, there were 98 total reports. There are 24 total in the historic district, 44 in the north of County Road 600 North district, 19 in the south of County Road 600 North, 10 in the River Bluffs / Yellowknife area, and 1 the State Road 43 P25 area. By category, there were 29 billing / usage related reports, 25 water quality reports, 8 meter related reports, 8 leak reports, 7 shut off / turn on requests, 7 irrigation related reports, 6 pressure reports, 6 miscellaneous, 1 main break, and 1 hydrant. And I don't think I did a report for 2024 last annual meeting, so I'm including it here. In 2024, we had a total of 132 reports. Approximately 92 were on the north of County Road 600 North. 21 in the historic district. 8 in the River Bluffs area. 5 in south of County Road 600 North. And 2 in Woods Edge. By category, 38 were water quality. 37 were leak or break related. 24 billing / usage. 14 miscellaneous. 7 pressure. 6 shut off requests. 4 meter related, 1 irrigation related, 1 citizen. And just for completeness, I thought I'd give a highlight from 2023, where we had a total of 93 reports. And we had 3 districts that had 10 or more reports, 23 in the historic district, 47 in the north of County Road 600 North district, and 16 in the south of County Road 600 North. And by category, 38 were billing, leak, or usage related, 24 water quality, and 10 miscellaneous from the very 10 one. And that's it. Any questions?
I have a question regarding those, let's say leaks.
Yeah.
And so on, are those, where in the budget do those fall, for the costs of cover of those? Are those like, services and charges then, is that where those?
It's just people reporting a leak and then the rest of the.
Yeah.
The distribution system is paid for out of your.
That's not distribution system, and that's. If you call because you got a high bill and you think you got a leak in your house, that's what it is.
Or you notice a leak, like, Dan.
Yeah, like, like I saw a team out there in Flintlock about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Is that work there covered underneath, under one of these items here? like
Yes.
Repair services.
That will be.
Distribution system.
But yeah, that's distribution system repairs. Most of the leak ones like that are where someone calls because they paid, their bill's gone up.
A lot.
And
Right.
Okay.
they don't think they owe it. So it's going in there and checking to see, you know, they got a toilet running through, a humidifier that's running through all the time. And finding those.
So if you call in and say I think my bill's too high. Dan or somebody will go out there to your house, they'll go through your system and see where you're losing water. It's not, then it's the homeowner's responsibility to fix it, but we can identify. So that's where some of these
Okay.
water leaks are,
Okay.
where the complaints come from.
Yeah.
And also I add on, our complaints are actually people that have actually called in.
In contact.
In contact.
People reported by the webpage, I'm calling into the town hall.
Yeah.
So you have to contact, the Conservancy,
Hmm.
and that's what this tracks as reports.
Yeah, okay.
So if you mention on social media, that's not tracked because we don't know about it.
It's not an official reporting.
Well, we don't know about it, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't look.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we need people to tell us, because then we know where to look, what to look for. Like I say, we're just trying to track reports just to get an idea where things are occurring and what those things
Right.
are. And so the board is aware of it. I mean, Dan knows, because this is just more of, collecting information and data, so we.
All right, thank you.
And to also note as to respond to the folks out there, the homeowners and that, because that's what, I mean, if you have a leak or if you notice something discolor or something, a higher bill or something like that, it allows us to provide a service. So that's all covered under the budget. I think one of your questions was, where is that covered under the budget? Well, that's just it's just the cost of doing business. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just providing customer
Right,
service.
yeah, okay, that I understand. I just wondered where, considering that, just as a, for instance, what I saw.
Yeah,
okay,
well, that's under main repair.
Yeah, okay.
And like I say, we started doing this just so that we didn't lose track and understanding of things, so it's always in our mind of, people reporting problems in the system or, just general stuff.
We're targeting areas that seem to be having more
problems.
issues.
Problem.
And I see north of 600 is still the leader all 3 years that you gave the,
Yeah, so they didn't go back to look at the 20, I think I have information from 2022 when I first started doing all the, for the board, but that didn't include that.
yeah.
But it's, I think, yeah, north of 600 is consistently
Still the area
has the most reports.
issues. Well, thank you. That was really helpful. I really appreciate you doing that all year long too.
No problem.
It's very helpful. Okay. Superintendent report, and I know Dan emailed it.
We worked on chemical equipment, that's an ongoing. You check it every day, if there's a problem, when you work on it. Still busy with the lead copper rule, that's never ending. There's always someone with the state or someone along that's gonna call about it. We had 1 meter that couldn't read. I replaced the transmitter to get it so I could read it. Rob's doing the locates. Provided that's not when he's doing his homework. Winter break might have been nice, but guess what? There's a lot of homework, and actually there was 4 courses that are online through Sun Coast. That's close to $800. And he's got to get those done. And there's 100 chapters in the one he's on right now. That's the second one. But he's got to get those done in 2 months, I think. He's got to get those. So, but I bring him out, we get as much as we can get done with, bring him out so he can learn, We actually, which this won't show it because we did today, we shut off, because we didn't get the call, we shut off the summer rec. It should have been shut off several months ago. But we didn't get the call to shut it off. So they've been using water. It showed up on the theater range. December 9th, Hoosier Edison put down one of their anchors on their boring machine. They hit the 8-inch main. I received all the costs now for the bill to Tipmont. And we got a copy of the email to Georgia for the invoice to Tipmont. She put a note on there about a cover letter, so I'll bring you the cover letter for her. Haley's replaced the door on Well House 2. Give you the attachment for 6235 monthly on GJ Gardner's invoice. I need which you did. But after the thing is after the minutes are approved and signed, I can see the lawyer. I need that signed one. So we can take care of the people. We had a leak on Flintlock, which this gentleman noticed. Had Hoosier X doing both repairs because as the first one we seen was a service line that was leaking. This thing, neither time was it producing blowing water, moving dirt, anything like that, just water. So with this, the way the ground was saturated off the first one, really thought we had it fixed. And what we found out was we had to go back there the second time, found that the clamp was not centered over the leak. It barely caught one edge of the one pipe. And it was enough that it leaked that night. It was backfilled. So it is repaired properly. We're fine with that. I'll get hold of the landscaper that we used the last time and he can take care of that. But of course, that's gonna be weather permits, springtime. And she was happy with that. I had a customer call about high usage. North of 600. And what I found was constant flow on his meter. The meter was too old to do a data log, which I usually do. What I found was I ended up adjusting 2 toilets. The third one I couldn't adjust. I've never seen that type of flow. And the flapper was leaking. Shut the water off to that toilet. Took care of the problem. Customer was there the whole time with me. Knows what needs to be done. Was there. Changed out the meter. Because it was due to be replaced anyway. So we're in the new year. It counts for 10%. It's all multiple things. Been working on the wellhead protection plan. Doing the 5-year update. I sent one in December. It was due. But we need to relook at all the areas between the wells and it goes clear across 43. And get an update from the health officer, find out if anybody's changed out their septic fills, anything like that. To note it because it's not been, that really hasn't been looked at since it was originally done. We had a worker come in yesterday from National Water Services. That's at the booster plant. They got that project. So it's the actual worker that's gonna be putting the piping in and everything. They took measurements so it can start welding the pipe and getting everything ready. The pumps are not here yet. You know, it's cold waiting. Actually, I'm waiting hopefully till a little bit more towards warmer weather, but to get that knocked out, and the whole idea is to get the main pipes out, get the valves, new valves in, a new pipe in with the valves, and get one new pump set so we can bring it back on and they can still be doing the work on the other two. Carol and I finished the changes in the HR manual, which is what Tim and I and Carol were working on, and Rick, Joe, 2 months ago, but Tim brought it up last month and we tweaked it in the HR manual. And it's a 1-page block that came out. That's how it goes back in the manual. So once everything gets approved on it, then you have to bring in your thumb drives and we'll download the updated version into your thumb drives. Which also got the changes that we needed to make the salary ordinance correct. So we do an amended salary ordinance, which is in there someplace. Just for your approval at the meeting. Any questions?
Well, thank you. A lot.
Well, thank you.
I'm glad you got right. Appreciate you getting right on that invoice too.
Which one? Oh,
The one
The
that
we're building.
the one we're billing them for.
The long wait was for one invoice coming bill to us. So we could get it out.
Well, we're still in a good timely fashion.
Well, I think so, but
I think so.
All right, financial clerk report, approval of the minutes.
Approval of the minutes. I will make a motion to approve the minutes from December 17th.
Second.
Right, I have a motion from Rick Oliver and second from Schuler to accept the December 17th minutes. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And register of claims.
The first one to consider is the escrow transfer to the town for the wastewater and stormwater fees in the amount of $90,815.23.
For those of you following out there, the water board or water conservancy takes in all of the sewer rates and the stormwater rates. So that's where you only get one bill. That's what this is, transferring that money back to the town. So that they can get their portion of the fees.
I make motion to approve the December escrow Billy transfer.
I'll second.
You have a motion from Joe and a second from David. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
The other registers, usually you get one for the 1 month period, but because it's the end of the year, you have one register that covers from December meeting until the end of the year. And then January 1st to today. The December total is $30,249.01. And the January total is $83,276.60. And that is higher because I think this is your month pay? No, it was not. I thought that this was the month to pay your loan, but that's February. So you have a regulatory fee for 120 water, which was $12,791.
Was that in,
And that was in the January.
that was so,
And then you have some, your Hoosier X distribution repair, the main repair on Flintlock was $9,119.
and the other one was 4,800.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I took that
so
here.
that does, it helped. And you have 2 payroll on there as well.
Then we'll get 5,000 back on the these invoices paid, for
Is that,
December 19.
no, which one's that? Is that covered? On that 120 water?
120 water?
Yeah, why is that from the, help me. 12,791. Is
That was here.
that was January?
Oh,
I thought we had
it was a lot less. I did it through. 120 water was a lot less than that. That's a version.
Is that multiple
There's
things
two-
on that 120?
There's two.
It could be.
There's one for the letters that was done. And one we had to do for this year only, and it's limited.
But they're all because of those ones. And that cost about orange. For everybody in the tower.
That's lead and copper.
Yeah, and we have no choice on that. If it's mandatory, those letters be sent out. I don't, I mean, I got one up at, and I live up on the hill too, and off 600, and we got one in our,
Your house was, basically any house that wasn't built in 1986 or newer
we were 81.
got the letter. It doesn't matter. Anybody on top of the hill, I'll tell you right now. The oldest subdivision up there has plastic mains. And they have copper lines. There is no lead. There's no lead anywhere.
That they mandated we send it over ballots because of the house.
The worst, the thing that can have lead is actually in your house. Where you have copper pipe and it was soldered. The solder could have that. Probably anything before 1985 probably has lead, is a lead-based solder. It was just part of the mix. It's 5%.
Hence
And
why I run my faucets for 10 seconds
you
before
run
I,
it just a little bit and you're fine.
but I didn't know that till you told me. So anybody who lives up there, if you're retired at 1986, like ring. Okay, are there any other questions?
I've got one question, George, I don't know if you can answer this. It's just got a bunch of numbers as far as the. It's the 1231 Regions Bank card. It's just got a bunch of numbers for a description. I don't know if that's just error or if it actually means something.
It's probably a part number.
Card number.
I do have one more question, Dan, and this would be your area too.
Okay.
Here's this on well and tower maintenance. It says troubleshooting repairs on July 4th, July 23rd, and
SCADA. We had. The one says, the line froze up, which it did. And one was, it was 4 times they came, but only One was warranty, took care of it. A card went bad and to be changed. That wasn't warranty, that was part of our pre-existing equipment. We did again, we found a transducer that was bad, we changed it, of course, it has to be reprogrammed. And then, froze the line. The heat trace went out. And actually, we put the new heat trace on it. And actually, it's outlet dead. It's on a fuse, it's bad,
So we're fixing that.
yeah.
So do they have, we have something in contract that they just bill us semi-annually or something, or?
No, they had it, it's like, they were 3 months. They waited till the end of the year.
That's why
Yeah.
the question was, why
Yeah.
clear back in July and now we're just getting,
Yeah.
getting the bill for it.
I mean, I remember when those things happened. I just didn't realize that we,
Never paid for them yet.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't, I'll be talking to Tim that actually sent the bill why they waited so daggone long.
I'm
Why
okay with
he
that, I
waited
just
so
wondered
long.
why.
Why it's all,
Yes, they don't
want to get paid for 6 months.
you
I
know,
was just curious.
That's on them to not send you.
All right, does anybody have any other questions?
I have an answer for Tim's question about the Regions card. He's looking at an entry on 12/31 for Regions Bank card in the amount of 193.67. That's an AT&T bill, and she didn't know what to put on the description line. Usually I just put wireless services. She put the entire account number.
That's why, that's weird. Okay.
That's what we have.
That's what that is.
All right, can I have a nomination to pay our December and our January vouchers? I have a motion by Ron,
Second.
second by Joe. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? On to old business. Customer account payment policies and rate review. You want to go down to employee and come back to that one?
Yeah, she's skipping me.
Or do you want, go ahead, are you ready to do that? If you are, go ahead.
No, that's, you can take them in any order you want to.
oh. I know what you're talking about.
All right, let's go ahead and do the employee manual update. And I think there's a hard copy in here with that. And we talked about this in December and then this would be our second month to go over it, and now you have it in front of you to. So employees coming in the 10 days. The first, and then they, as they're here longer, that to 15 days, and then eventually up to 20 days of your seniority. First year is 10 days, second through fourth years are 15 days, and fifth or more with 20 days. Depending on your hours that you're normal get 60 days.
And that's really the only thing that changed, correct?
Are you approve it?
Yeah.
Can you have
Yeah, I
anything
think
to
it-
add on that?
Wasn't set, what, did we decrease the unused to 75% payout?
Yeah,
Well,
down there on the,
It's down there in termination.
Yeah,
if you use it for medical, it'd be all of it, but if it's
right. If it's a payout, it's,
75.
yeah.
And we changed it that the amount to be approved. That those figures, those numbers will be approved by the direct supervisor or the chairman. Okay,
And then maximum accrual, we also talked about that as well.
Yeah, that's there too.
So those were the.
Other things, yeah, I was thinking there was something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, 200.
So one small change I might propose, talking with Georgia, Bill, looking at how the software works. for the accrual. Well, it'd be ideal to do it in terms of like X per month. I think based upon Georgia correct, if I'm wrong, do it the amount of days per year by pay period, even though it creates a awful fraction. I think that might be easier for
Easier,
for the billing side.
divide by 26.
Whatever the, you know,
Paper,
pay
it's
periods
26
are.
days.
I think that'd be the only amendment
Oh,
I would.
but she only does once a month. Right? You were
Well-
putting it in once a month.
There is some wisdom in consistency
Mhm.
so that you don't miss something. And that was my reason for advocating a certain amount with every pay period or every month or every year. You can calculate what someone has earned and put it on their account all at one time and leave it up to the supervisor to approve when they use it, if you want to. Or you can say it's so many hours per month or so many hours per pay period, but to say, well, okay, this quarter they get an extra and these 2 months they don't get anything. That was kind of scary to me from a purely process standpoint. Not that I didn't
Right.
understand how it was going, but I just thought the more you can do to not introduce error by omission would be good.
So are you proposing that we look at something every pay period, a percentage thereof for the entire year? Is that what you're? Is that what
I mean, I
you're
was trying to think of intent, like I say, because I think I understand where Georgia is coming from in terms of if we could create.
If you do by pay period, it's consistent, because some months you will. There's probably 2 months, there's actually 3 pays.
Well, there's 26 pays in a year. Most of the time.
Which is right.
Now in the weeds, but next year there's 27 because the first is on a Friday and that's payday, so the pay has to be on Thursday, so
Right.
that makes 27, but.
It's
That'd
just,
be the easiest.
yeah, because I mean, that's. Yeah. Just because of the way, looked at the way the software worked, like that, I agree.
So I just need
Yeah.
to tweak that to. Go to,
They get the same number of days, it's just how we
track and accrue.
Yeah, because all we're changing is.
just change it so it. It goes by. Paydays.
Yeah, all we're changing is, they're still getting the same number of days, we're just saying you accrue. One fraction of the year's payday.
Okay.
So for instance, if I'm hearing you correctly, for instance, if we've got 10 or 26 pays, that's gonna be 0.38.
I
Four,
think Georgia
six.
could go to what, 4?
Yeah, it does. It goes to 4 digits or more, 4 decimals or more,
Yeah,
but
so yeah, we could,
we usually allow people to take their vacation in 2 decimals because if you have 15 minutes, 0.25 hours.
Yeah.
It works out 2 decimals pretty much. If you want to stay with the way it's written, I'm okay with that if the supervisor will provide the calendar to follow. Like the supervisor write out the calendar, these are the pay periods, and this is how much I want you to put on for my employees.
Will that be easier, Dan?
Because then if I'm not the one doing, I have to do things and set them up so there's a process. If I'm not the one doing payroll, I have to hand a file to someone else and they won't make a
And there's a
mistake.
clear.
And that's why,
reference to it.
yeah, it has to be clear or it has to be consistent one.
So would that be a calendar that you have on your computer? Would that be a calendar that you would have in the office? What would that look like?
The payroll program we have right now, it's all manual. So it would be a calendar, a piece of paper in the payroll file that someone would take out, and while they're doing payroll, they would say, okay, this person gets 1 day of vacation on this payroll, or they would look and go, oh, no, they don't get anything this payroll. That's what you've got set up with this HR, the way it's written. You'll have a physical calendar, piece of paper for that individual that will look at every payroll and go, okay, are they supposed to get vacation this time or not? And implement that as we're doing the hours input for their pay.
What's your pain, Dan?
No, I'm just thinking, would it be easier just to pluck it at the first of the year, the full amount?
I'll tell you what, let's table this until next month, this portion,
That's fine.
and we'll come back to
Yeah,
it.
because I think it's just really just how do we want to accrue it, it's the,
Yeah.
We agree with the days and everything, it's just how.
everything, I think everything else we like, yeah.
Right,
I
we
agree.
got
Let's
rid of
table it.
the 25 days, the higher amount, so.
When the payout change.
And we just change how, we'll just look at the payout. And how it's approved. And discuss what's the easiest on everybody. And then present it next
Next
month.
month.
And when we get done with it before then, we'll send it out.
Yeah, that would be helpful. You know, look at it
Right.
beforehand, because I don't want to get to the meeting and try, have another
Yes,
drawn out conversation if we can. Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry I was slow at sending it out.
No,
That's
you're
all right.
fine. I got it well in advance.
Moving on to the salary ordinance, that's not gonna affect that because that's not specifically listed.
Right.
Yeah, because the days are still the same.
Right. Do you have a number for this ordinance? It says 2026 dash.
Well, wasn't the salary ordinance 25? So it'd be 26, 26.
The old one, it amends ordinance 2025-25.
All
Yeah,
right, so this would be ordinance 2026 26.
yes.
And what the amended is it's just saying on section 9,
That's
Wow.
26 or that one?
that's 26, they said.
Is
the last one was
it our
25.
first ordinance this year?
Well, the year changes, but the ordinance number
Stays the same.
increments by 1. So the next ordinance after 25 is 26.
Okay.
But in order to find them, you preface them with the year so that you can stack them.
Yep, I'm with you.
So section 9 is the part that's being amended, it's on PTO.
So, well, let's, before we get going too far, section 4. You got the trainee, so we got Rob in here because we didn't have it. The Department of School, which is part of the, falls under the Department of Labor schooling. So their term, semester, however you want to call it, is 6 months long. So they get 2 terms, it's 2 years long, so they complete one, they get a quarter
Yep.
raise. It is not. You cannot figure that as part of their annual raise. Any annual raise, it's not part of it. So,
It's more of a merit raise.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a
completed that.
requirement of Department of Labor, so we got that in there. And then you go down to section 9.
Yeah, I don't think anything needs to be amended for the ordinance, because we're not talking about accrual, we're just. putting-
Doing it, we're talking about what they're gonna get.
It's what they get, and also the change and termination payout.
Yeah.
Is really.
That's all it
and
was.
carryover, yeah. and
So-
carryover.
We added, I added that little bit to 4 to make it complete,
Section.
and then section 9 is only the only two places that were changed. And that's the only part that we're, everything else stays the same. We're just leaving what they get in the other one.
Are you, are you staying with the PTO used in 1 hour increments then?
It's up to you.
Well, that's not
That's
how
where it
that's,
came from.
not, yeah. It's not how it's being turned in, so that's,
You want it in half hour? I don't care.
we can do the 2 decimals, so I'm just.
That's how it was originally set up by you. I'm just
It was, it's been that way forever.
Yeah,
by
So,
somebody,
yeah,
so I
been that
didn't
way.
touch none of that. Is it on? That's in the HR though, that's not in this.
No, it's on this too.
It's in the
Salary
salary.
increments is in section 9
Nine.
of salary.
Mhm.
Two of maybe used.
So for full-
20 hour
can-
increments is.
You can leave it that way, that's fine.
You sure you go to doctor or whatever.
We can catch it next time.
Yeah,
Okay. Sounds good. This is good for the rest of the year.
Right, do I have a motion? For the amended 26 22 salary ordinance.
I move to accept ordinance 2026-26 to amend 25-25.
I have a motion by Joe, any more discussion?
Second.
I have a second by Rick, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. All right, back to customer account policies. Yeah, we do.
and I know it's gonna take more than one meeting to do this, but I want everyone to start thinking about the rate ordinance as a whole to be ready, and the consultant comes back and says, hey, I'm ready to put this together for you. Is there, I don't remember that we did this, but pardon my memory if we did, but was there going to be a subcommittee from the board who was going to work with me to merge policies to make sure the policies connect with the town when we do the rate ordinances this year?
I don't think we talked about, but that's an excellent idea.
Yeah,
I think it should be.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And what you need to work out as a board is if there's anything in the ordinances now that you're going to change. I know Dan had maybe a couple things that he was going to work on. But if you're going to make any changes to how you structure your rates and charges, and if it, particularly if it has an impact on the town's rates and charges, we need to work that out together before we get in front of the consultant, because we're just gonna waste his time if we don't have our act together before we get there.
Got a question now.
Mhm.
The town table. Not paying their portion for the meters,
Well,
which is fine.
that's a new topic for them.
They
and-
pay, we've done it before.
We did it one other time without a lot of forethought on it.
But their thought from what I got from more than just one board member is not doing rates and doing a flat fee,
Well,
so there's no
it
interest in
hasn't,
meter.
it hasn't come up. It hasn't come up officially yet, I guess. It's something that was dropped out there as a possibility for them, but again, I want representatives from both tables to sit with me and look at really what's going on that affects the customers as the bill that they get before we start making any changes as boards. But this is our opportunity to get something that's gonna work into the future for both boards. So I'm taking it pretty seriously and I'd like to get started pretty quick. I'm supposed to turn all of the 3-year financials over to the consultant. I'm actually late on doing that. I should be doing it, so I'll do it tomorrow. But he'll have all that and he's ready to start working on it. And so if there's a couple people that would, it'll involve Dan and Ron as managers of their areas, but if there's a couple other people that would sit in, that would be good.
I might, sure.
Yeah, yeah,
That's it.
mine.
If
Anybody else?
we could figure out the time, I'd be. I'm not sure I fully understand, but I'd be glad to sit down with you.
I mean, the big thing probably that's probably gonna be the discussion is probably like minimum bill. I mean, that's one thing I can see is being like a minimum bill. But part of that is also understanding how it impacts revenues and stuff. I mean,
Now it's calculated.
Right, and so,
I mean, because like I say, it actually impacts that.
so the rate consultant, if you say rate consultant, we wanna change our structure. And I'll just drop that out there. What if the minimum bill did not have any water gallons with it? He needs to know that so that he can structure the rates for the water based on our usage profile throughout the system to generate the same revenue. He can do that for you if you tell him this is what we want.
Yeah.
All right, look,
But the other thing that came up in front of us that will have a somewhat of an impact, not so much on our revenue, but how we structure the ordinance is how do we treat when a connection says, I don't want to use my service, I want you to shut it off. Are we going to bill them? If a house is vacant and the service is shut off, is there someone to bill? How minimum bill is a minimum bill and who gets to pay it? If the landlord doesn't have a tenant there, are they going to pay the minimum bill? If it's vacant, I mean, we have one individual right now that believes they have an agreement with the Conservancy that they won't be billed for their property if they don't have a tenant in there. And we need to, from a customer service standpoint, contact her and say, that's an old agreement. We don't, going forward, we're not going to recognize that. But
we need a standardization of policy.
there's some, I mean, it's not.
The question is, do we
it's
say your
really
access
tough
to
decision.
service? I mean, it's also like, you look at, I don't know, how many years ago, he's looking at the bills, so West Lafayette. West Lafayette breaks out lots of fees, like hydrant fee, meter fee.
There's a lot of fees
A lot of things.
that
Right.
And the problem with that is the fees can be adjusted however you want. They don't have to go through any regulatory process, right? For somewhat,
it still got to some extent. Each one gets its own line, but if they do, let's say infrastructure repair in this area's bill can go sky high. They don't have to take it through the whole,
regulatory process.
yeah, it's a lot different.
Yeah, because like I said, but we could mitigate a minimum bill with charging fees for hydrant and meter, but it's like, I don't know, I like, on the one hand, we would be charging, or at least acknowledging the cost of, say, a meter. So every 10 years, the meter needs to be replaced, which is currently, say, $340.
They go
Divided by-
up.
Yeah, they go up. Divide by 120, that's, $3-4 a month, but, that we know nominally would cover with our water rates or property tax.
All right, well, Tim and Joe, you're willing to be on the committee?
Yeah.
Georgia, do you know when the council's meeting again, that you could talk to, or get 2 people from the council and start meeting?
I think
Chad, right here.
Right.
council.
I thought I had the pleasure of meeting you.
Mary
Dad,
Jo's
Dad,
here,
so-
2 people.
Damn.
Pick the wrong meeting to come to.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Why?
Your point.
So,
Do you want to coordinate that with them?
yes,
Get that-
absolutely. We'll
Get on
we'll
that.
get
I
a,
think it's an excellent.
we'll
idea
get
to
a
work
date
together.
going and we'll get some discussion out there and give you the
Excellent.
results.
Okay, all
Absolutely.
right, so that'll be followed up on, and thank you, Joey. Him for doing it.
So there is a paper in your packet that has to do with this policy from a landowner. And she addressed the town first, but the agreement that she was falling back on really, she named the Conservancy as the person that, or as the entity that struck this agreement with them, that if she didn't have a tenant, she wouldn't be charged a minimum bill, but it's been a couple years since she had a tenant. So I think what we plan to do is contact her with a letter and say, this is
So she's
not
here-
being
is she not here
recognized.
tonight?
She could not attend. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you say, excuse me, did you say it's been a couple of years since she's had a tenant?
Mhm.
So the water's been shut off for
In
2
that-
years?
In that,
Oh, in half.
So it's that property
It's
has
a
2
duplex.
meters.
So the property has 2 meters.
Yeah.
Okay.
well, I'm not sure there's anybody there now. I'll have to look, but
It's my understanding it was currently totally empty.
it totally empty, yeah.
And they're waiting on a tenant here in a few weeks on one side.
There's no water at all, it's shut off.
Well, it's one of those properties where she controls the valve. So.
Landlord?
Mhm.
But, so we charge the landlord, like, with, kind of like Woods Edge, right?
Should be, but no. It's got 2 meters.
Oh, it has to.
Mhm.
One for each side.
So she controls both meters?
Can. Is she supposed to? That was before me.
Yeah. This.
That's before you
Yeah,
guys.
this is one that falls in the gray area in every conceivable way.
Well,
So,
like I said, I don't remember it this.
Me great.
We never did.
yeah,
I am going to, when the weather permits. I'll take Ron, because I want a second person. We'll go down. I need someone to hold the light. Would have him write things that I say, but, you know. He's gotta be able to read it too. No, we'll go down there and see what it needs. To switch it over so that it has lockable services.
Yes. I don't agree with the homeowner being able to turn them on and off
No.
and expect us to know when.
Well, you're only hearing part of it, cause
I
they
understand.
actually, you know,
Yeah.
they actually came down, said, we got a tenant that's gonna be in there on such and such day.
Yeah.
You know, so,
So as a committee, I want you
But no
guys
one
to get
said.
the facts
Amen.
and all that.
Yeah.
And give that. Like the specifics and.
It's a mission.
Right.
yeah, and she had a tenant, she evicted the person, so.
So I guess what I'd like, that's a multi-purpose committee.
it is.
One is
It
to
is.
get the facts on this particular situation so we can get a remedy for that.
Yeah.
Come with a policy going forward with the town on future.
Well, I think
Rental,
this
yeah,
is why
that
we
will
have
be-
minimum fees is
Yeah.
because we need to pay for infrastructure regardless if it's used, like stormwater. You don't get exceptions. I'm not living in the
No.
house. I gotta pay my stormwater. We gotta pay for water.
The sewer's still open, so
The
people can still
sewer's
be
still- I mean,
dumping stuff
I
in the
mean,
sewer.
just because
They
There's
clean
no one living
up
there,
the
doesn't mean you're not
apartments,
cleaning the
so
building.
guess where, if they bring water in, they still go down the toilet.
And then our third thing on that committee would be to, for rate review on how to do things. too.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that would be the big, okay. In particular, if you can get these two things.
Well, yeah, this is just a matter of we need to reconcile
We need to get the
what
specific
was
facts.
and what will be.
I have, well. This one I can get to where they are.
Well, no, in terms of what
I
my
have
policy
two
going
houses
forward, right?
this way.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know.
And I think we should.
The other one I can't get to except for when the guy comes. He'll allow lets me into the partnership.
We need to probably take care of that one.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, thank you too. That's gonna be a really good committee. All right,
Thank you, guys.
new business nominations for vacant chair. And I would just like to say, George is probably gonna handle that, but I would like to thank Phil Bear for his 6 years of service on the board. He's a great guy.
He's gonna take care of our insurance.
I'll nominate Adam Friedman.
We probably have to advertise that though, don't we? Great. And then we can appoint.
Do we appoint or not?
Well, if he's already fulfilled the requirements for the position, having a nomination form
Fill that.
Already
filled
put
out.
election.
So we
Very good.
questioning whether he be, obviously was wanting to run for
He's
that
interested.
position, so
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter
Yeah, he's.
to me whether it was
So
for the
he-
position
he
Ron,
is-
he ran against, or if it's for the vacant one.
He is attending and I'll
We
turn,
can ask him.
he's on my phone, so I guess you don't
No,
have to
that's
see
all right.
this,
That's
but, the audio would come through my computer, not through the,
That's fine.
so if, Adam, if you're there and you want to comment at this time.
No, sometimes it takes a minute and have you. And just as a side note, I know Rick knows him because he's in his neighborhood.
Right.
Wow.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Sorry, I'm traveling through Illinois and I'm sitting in my truck listening to the meeting, so I'm trying to figure out how to unmute it. But so, yeah, I mean, I would love to join the district if I can. I don't know what you all would need from me going forward, but obviously interested. Got the form signed and got a couple of votes anyway. So however you want to handle it from there, up to you guys.
What do you think, Carol? I think it would be appropriate to just appoint him
To
for the
out the remainder of the
fill
term.
rest of Phil's term, because that's how we fill all the other vacancies.
I agree.
And he's already got the paperwork.
He's already
Yep.
met the criteria.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't think we would have to advertise that because we've already got a candidate
Paperwork,
that's
yeah,
has met
you
those.
just met those needs.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
Georgia, do you concur with that?
I do.
Okay, do I have a nomination to nominate Adam Friedman to fill Phil Bear's open seat?
Yeah. I know we need that.
I have a nomination
second.
by Rick, I have a second by Joe. All those in favor, or any discussion?
I just have a question of how long that term is.
2 years,
2 years.
28, okay,
yeah.
yeah.
The
I know it was,
January-
I think that
January
needs to be in the
28th.
discussion these until the end of Phil's term in 28.
And then we'd run for reelection.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all question or clarification.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Welcome aboard, Adam.
Welcome aboard, Adam. We'll see.
Well, I look forward to meet you guys. I know I sat down with Rick for a little while and got to talk with him, and he's been a good neighbor and friend. So we'll
We do
looking forward to it.
every month at 6 o'clock, and usually it'll be up at town hall.
Yeah, the only meeting we hold
Okay.
in January here at the fire station because of possible having elections. So,
Look forward to
Okay.
That's a lot of people.
Get with me when you get back, Adam. We'll go over it.
And Georgia will need
care.
your,
I'll do that.
Georgia will need your email address so she can, send you reports and stuff before the meeting. Okay,
Okay. Yep. Sounds good. Thank you.
thank you. Be safe. Any guest comments?
We'll do. Thanks.
My name's Karen Hood and I live at 6082 Flintlock Drive. And
See it.
um,
been nice.
so almost 2 years ago, about another week, 2 years ago, my neighbor and my neighbor to the north, Christy Buchanan, we had a huge lake in our yard from a water main break, and it was over half my front yard and half of Christie's front yard. And it was actually pretty traumatic for both of us. little T trauma, not a big T trauma, but still stressful. And then by the time we got to August, it had become a little contentious. And, so getting our yard fixed and everything. So before we signed our papers, we had Carol and Dave come and talk to us, because we had some questions about why the board didn't know how big it was. And, being, notified they were coming. Some different things that had bothered us about the whole process.
Communication.
What?
Communication.
Yes, communication. And so thank you to the board for taking our concerns seriously, because when we had our small stream in December and then our small pond in January, and communicated with us, and it just went so much better. They came and explained it. I like the new way of digging the hole, because it didn't leave stuff in our yard or, tear it up and.
Well, the difference being that the first was a huge leak. There was no.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But I want to give kudos to Dan and to Robert for the way in which they communicated and handled the whole thing. So, it was a learning process, like Dave said, for everybody, and yay. So,
Thank you.
and the snow falls on that spot and it stays there because there's no running water.
Keep looking. Cause the weather keeps changing,
Yeah.
Right.
All right, does anybody else have, yes.
My name's Chad Rainey. I'm at 5902 Bittersweet Drive. Little background on me. We moved here about 4 years ago. We've got a kid over at Battleground Elementary. We love the area, we love the people, we love all the festivals and happenings around the fire station especially. Now I'm gonna say some things that you might not love to hear as much as what I just said. So this was my first meeting attending. Obviously, I've got a lot of catching up to do. It was encouraging to hear about upgrades. I was encouraged by the phrase 5-year plan, improvements to well houses, preventative maintenance, groundwork being laid and working on staffing, trying to get grants for infrastructure. But I do want to address that I've never lived anywhere where my water bill is so high. And I also didn't know there was a method to report potential leaks, so I am going to explore that. But our water bill is consistently around $250, along with my neighbor, who is it's a retired couple. I've never lived anywhere where it's been that high. I come all the way from the big city of Lafayette.
So where's
Where our water bill.
Right across the street from me.
He's right next to Bertha,
Yeah, he's right next to Dorothy and Ken,
right next to Bertha.
which the other house that he's talking about, that Dan had worked with them for that couple for quite some time to figure out where they're
We
leaking.
never say that high.
Yeah, and they've got that fixed, so.
Yeah, I think what, obviously, knowing that there's a way to report this, I work in IT, so I understand, sorry, I'm looking at my notes.
That's fine.
Avoid eye contact, I'm just trying to distill what I'm thinking here. It just sounds like some of this stuff is underreported. We've spent $5,000 or $6,000 on a water softener, an ultrafine whole house purifier that should last 3 to 6 months, and it typically survives about a month before I have to change it and stuff starts to get older.
Back up. What are you changing?
The whole house filter.
Should be changed every month.
Well, the filter itself says 3 to 6 months.
It don't matter.
I understand, but what I'm basing this off of, again, I'm coming here for civil discourse. I think civil discourse is important. So that's what I'm trying to offer here tonight, is that I've never lived anywhere where I've had to change it that often. And so my question is, well, originally my question is, do we have a strategic plan to address this? Because I know a lot of people online are showing pictures of murky water. But it sounds to me like the issue is that these aren't getting reported based on some of the reporting statistics we heard. So one thing I will take under my hat is encouraging people that I hear are having issues to report them so that they can be tracked and then these things can be addressed. And that being said, thank you for your time.
Right.
Okay. But you do need to change your filter every month. What size, I mean, what size is it? Is it curved filter?
It's like that.
No, no,
Okay, how big?
how many micro? Yeah.
It's a small one. You need. I
So-
never tell anybody get the small, one, get the big one. And it. A month and a half, 2 months.
I understand. I think. Respectfully, what I think my concern is that, why? What do I have to do that? Why is it coming in? To the point where I have to change it every month?
And I'll go back on that because I'm your neighbor. I don't understand the plumbing in our neighborhood. Because your house has always had that problem. I've never had a water softener until this year, and I've never had a water problem.
And I don't have a water problem.
And she lives across the street, so I don't know why your house has always been a problem with
Yeah.
water.
It's always been a problem.
Huh?
The previous owners, put it delicately. I don't think they did a lot of the preventative maintenance.
Yeah.
Type stuff. I think they did a lot of DIY stuff, but they should have paid someone to do maybe.
I think
But I know all the residents you've had in that house before you, and it has been a problem from the very beginning.
And we've had, all of our plumbing replaced because we did have a leak because it was degraded. So we've got, as far as where it comes into the house, all that copper stuff is new water softener, new tank. New filter system, all of that, and it's just a concern.
Hey, what, Dan, what do you think about we set up?
Okay.
Why don't we set up an appointment
Yeah.
and have Dan and I'll come out? I just live a short over from him.
You
Um,
just can't judge us for the condition of what our garage is like.
I will.
He's seen mine, he knows
Be
it's
no
something.
judge.
Because my wife was an elementary school teacher at a school that closed, so her entire classroom is in our garage.
I've seen that in a basement too.
Okay, yeah.
Let us come,
Yeah.
let us come
Yeah.
out and really
you know,
look
like
at
I
that and try
said,
to help you.
It was very informative for me to know that there is a route to report some of this stuff.
If I don't hear it.
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, thank you.
so,
Okay, do you wanna, after the meeting, get some good communication, or you want that ran through Georgia?
Georgia, we're now trying to create a whole mess of work orders for him.
Yeah.
So he can see them.
I'm in no rush. I mean,
Yeah, but
why
don't you call down to town hall?
it's something
Mine's
we've been
$75.
dealing with for a while.
Yeah, but let's
These
get,
ones
taken-
that-
let's get taken care
We won't do it legally.
They've got a water.
of. Right, so we go.
It's a
So let's get
toilet.
them. Call in and let's
Yeah, you don't
report,
have-
and then we will call you and set up time. We'll come and take a look, and
That's easy.
you should get some help.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is the only way to report by calling town hall, or is there another?
On the website,
There's a website that.
on
you get-
the battleground or water.battleground. There's a contact us or report.
Yeah.
Mhm.
On the website.
It's on the website.
You were uptown, just be there.
I know that's what you know. Someone there will. You got enough people that.
But the best way, like I said, either if you call or get on the website and put it in, that way we have documentation of it.
And then
So we can
they-
follow it up and we can track it. And that's what we've been trying to push out there for years, is if we don't know about it. You post it on Facebook all you want, and I can tell you 9 times out of 10. When Dan goes and investigates the water quality problem, it's usually a water heater or something along those lines that just haven't been flushed.
So, in all honesty, if we have people that were like accessing the water hydrants up there where the old Holiday Inn was and stuff, that loosens up some stuff, and you guys are the subdivision that
That hits it.
notice it hits.
The problem on that side is the multiple loops. Quail Ridge is tied to Lookout,
Right? The back of, the
the
back.
back side, not only the front side, the back side. And Battleview is
The bigger street would be.
because they got that ravine.
Yeah.
But Lookout and Quail Ridge are tied together. And Quail Ridge's been here for a long time because that, I got off the board in '89.
That was all, it was prior to the housing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So,
1990s and
Yeah.
that point started getting built in 90.
All right,
mhm.
all right, but yes, please call in and we will look forward to you. And Gary, you need to understand now how to, yeah, okay. Anybody else? If not,
I got one question,
Yes.
and that's just kind of, I think Dan was out of the room when I thought about it. The second we're having a lot of problems up on Flintlock, that north section of 600. Is that going to be ongoing because of the construction that was? It's a problem that we inherited, right?
It's a problem we inherited.
And is that going to be, I don't want to say the continuing thing, but it's a concerning problem.
I pulled out the original prints. And I seen who signed off for the Conservancy, and I seen who signed off for the town. It was the same person.
Hmm.
And you're laughing because you don't know who it is. You think you do.
I don't know who it is, it's just.
But it shouldn't have been.
It's the same person,
Same-
doesn't matter who it is, it's the same person. It doesn't
That
matter who
person
it
should
is.
never sign for the Conservancy. Because one, that pipe I'd never use. Two, I would have signed off to Shawnee at all with just like this young lady over here never realized her whole front yard is stuck in easement. That, where that water main is.
Yeah.
That dude's got a 20-footer. The sewer's down there under the sidewalk. Her whole front yard, all those along there is tied up
In either.
in easements.
Yeah. Okay, that was just my questions. That's going to be an ongoing
I think so.
concern.
I think we need to. And the problem lies is on the other side of the road is storm. The sanitary and the storm can be next to each other.
Yes.
There's separation between those two in the water. So that either puts us right down the middle of the road or right where we're at and try and replace that line.
Okay. That's a
Which
long-term
really,
project.
you know,
Yeah.
the yards ain't so bad, it's all the driveways. Boring is nicer on the stuff, but it's expensive. The cheapest is open cut. It really is.
Yep. I was just curious. Like,
Yeah,
we've had quite a few leaks up in that area and issues.
It's the same stuff that is going on the west side of 43. I'm gonna say Milestone put in a lot of it. Milestone did. But it should never been approved.
that's our bike stops here.
So,
All right, before we dismiss, I would like to thank the Fire Township, Bill Jones, the trustee, and the fire department for letting us use this facility tonight for our meeting. We really do appreciate all your support. And I'd like to thank Dan, and Rob and Kevin when he was here last year, Georgia and Vicky for everything they do. I mean, these guys, particularly our operators are on call 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Sunny, hot, cold, holiday, it doesn't matter,
What people probably don't realize is your water is tested multiple times a day.
and every day,
Every day.
7 days a week. So even on a holiday, they're there. Just to make sure we have a safe project coming through. So thank you. I know you don't hear that enough.
you're welcome.
All right, anything else? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Okay.
We're in favor.
Motion for Joe, second for Greg. Thank you.
Oh.
It was good to see people. Hopefully you'll be back.
Came out wonderful.